Back to the State of Euphorbia. This is my blog, and I have a very special guest today. I'm pleased to announce my mother, Jean. How's it going, Mom?
It's going really well. I'm enjoying a nice week in the great Northwest. Escaped the New England cold for a few days and got to spend and continue to spend some quality time with my two sons, my daughter in law, and my two grandchildren. And the best part so far was having the Patriots win and being all together. And it was a great, great day. And spending today with Angelo.
That's right. Looks like we got some sunshine out there, so we're gonna have to head out in just a bit. But now I get to see more of you last couple years because we've got my brother's kids around, and that gets Mom out here more often. We're hoping that you'll be maybe out here permanently. Is that something maybe we can hope for in the future?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen in 2015.
Well, first of all, let's tell us where you're from.
I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts, and left for a number of years. Returned 17 years ago, and I have family there. Most importantly is my mother, who in December of last year turned 100. So I enjoy her company. I see her most days and talk to her every day. So it's a very important reason for me to be in Worcester. My mom's in excellent health. Angelo and I and Mario come from good genes, and so I'm hoping, yes, to move out here to be closer to the people that I love the most: my two sons, my daughter-in-law, and my two grandchildren. And it's not going to happen this year, but next year we'll start shifting the momentum toward that end goal.
So we're starting up in a new year. 2015's just getting kicked off. I know for myself, it's been at some times tumultuous ride. We've had a lot of good times. 2014 had a lot of fun, had a lot of ups and downs. Anything particularly that stood out for you? Any events that stood out for you in the last year?
Well, certainly my mother's 100th birthday, and just continuing to enjoy good health. And, because of circumstances with Angelo's health, he and I have really gotten to be a lot closer. We spend a lot of time just texting and telephoning, and I enjoy watching his blogs and kind of get a pulse of how things are going from him. And so I would say that 2014, in my opinion, was a transition year for our family on so many levels. So we're hoping that 2015 now we'll be on an upward trajectory, and the grandbabies are growing so fast, and I see such a change in them every time that I see them. And the little one, Marco, honest to God, when I hold him in my arms, it's like when you were
feeling verklempt over here. All right. Well, yeah, it's great having you visit here, Mom. Tell us a little bit about what you do back in Massachusetts. How do you spend your days, and what do you...
Well, I have a fabulous job. I always argue with friends that I have the best job in the world. I work for a small public policy think tank, and I've been there almost 15 years. And this year we're celebrating our 30th anniversary, so we have a lot of events. We're going to have a big annual meeting. We usually have an A-lister as our annual meeting speaker. We've had sitting senators, governors, Fed chair. So we've had a lot of very important people. And this year we have extended an invitation. And as soon as that's confirmed, we'll be announcing that. We're doing a 12-month lecture series. We have 12 colleges in and around the city. And so we're going to have one each month during the whole year at a different college. We're going to do a lot of big reports on the census, on elections, and so those are kinds of some of the things I look at. So my job is very important to me, and I love my job. And I'm also in a handbell choir, and this is now going on 16 years that I've been in the handbell choir, and a lot of good friends there. And just, enjoying time with friends. I like to go hiking and sightseeing and traveling. I used to go to Europe every year but that's probably not going to happen anymore. I think the focus of my trips, I want them to be to the West Coast until I'm eventually living out here. So, but I've had a lot of opportunities and seen a lot of places in the world. As a matter of fact, excuse me, this is a scarf that I bought in Ireland, and I hope it'll keep Angelo warm. He loves that.
I'll fit right in the hipster soccer circuit here in Portland.
Right. But I've had a lot of great opportunities. I do go to Boston. It's easy from where I live. You can hop on a train, $10 round trip, and you can go and spend a day in Boston, take in a play, go to a game, just sightseeing. I went to just saw the Goya exhibit at the Museum of Fine Arts, which is a world-renowned exhibit. So there's never any shortages of things to do. I have a very full and happy life. So, but it's a shift. Like I said, this year is going to be the shift and working towards a different, wonderful, and happy life on the West Coast.
All right. So a lot of what I talk about here on the website on the State of Euphorbia is kind of a talk about relationships, kind of interpersonal communication issues, you know, the ups and the downs, trying to struggle through some issues and also trying to celebrate some of the better times. It's been a rocky year for me in that regard also. You know, I'm not just because of the medications that have had me up and down. I know you've had some issues yourself with depression and with other, you know, issues like everybody has. Is there any advice that you can give me as your son or people out there about how to, you know, get through any of these tough times? And have you experienced any of the kind of the downs of the winter this year at all because of the grayer days?
Surprisingly, I do suffer from seasonal affective disorder, but my downtime, for some strange reason, is not in the winter. It's usually in the spring. And that doesn't even make sense because that's when the days are better and longer and warmer and the renewal. But that's, in the past, that's when I've had my worst bouts of depression. But the one thing I've learned from having suffered from depression most of my life from adolescence into adulthood is that it does get better. And, you know, you lean on the support of people you love, and we have our good days and our bad days, and we get through it. And I think I've just experienced it so many times, and I've gotten through it so many times that I know that I will get better every time.
And as we say this, we're being lit by the SAD light that my mom gave me for Christmas, which also doubles as the stage lighting for my blog here. All right, so ups and downs. The more times around the sun, the more times you get used to kind of the ups and downs, the ebb and flow. And for me, it's been kind of a new experience because, like, coming into terms with a terminal condition or whatever you want to call it, just kind of accepting a life change and having, you know, being diagnosed with an oligodendroglioma, which, you know, is not that bad. I've recently, and knock on wood, things have been going well. My medication seems under control. You're in good health right now?
I am.
From good stock. Your mother's 100. My grandmother's 100.
Yep.
I
do feel good for the most part. I do find, though, when I come to the West Coast, the jet lag seems to hang and kind of screws up my whole, I don't know, metabolism, sleep patterns, digestive patterns. And so that's why I made this trip a little bit longer. In the past, I used to come for 4 days, and it would seem like I never even got off East Coast time. But to have a longer trip so that my getting to where I want to be, I would still have enough days to enjoy time with the family. But my health is good, but certainly could improve. I listen a lot to what Angelo says about, you know, eating more healthfully, and Mario is always you know, reminding me to exercise, and so those are goals that I work towards, but fail miserably for the most part. But it's still a goal.
Well, I always see pictures of you hiking and doing stuff, so that's really good. And you just mentioned a couple of goals. Any other goals that you have for 2015?
Well, I have a silly goal because usually people will ask me if I have any New Year's resolutions, and actually it reminds me that this is one that I wanted you to help me with. I want to get to the point that I'm not carrying around a paper calendar anymore, and so I have an iPhone, and I've tried on several occasions to input stuff. I'm not sure that I'm doing it right, so this is something that maybe you can help me with, and so that I have.
No, I just bought another wallpaper calendar. Honestly, I think they're the best. I don't think there's any replacement for them because
Well, it's
they're there and they're tangible. Because I sometimes lose stuff off my iPhone. I've had the little small calendars, which
yep.
I've lost in the couch cushion for like a month and couldn't remember any of my calendars. Luckily, a lot of the doctor's appointments and stuff, they'll call you and send you reminders via email and electronically, but
So do you input your things into your iPhone?
I do, but it's not my main source of
Oh, okay.
remembering. I still stick to the old wall calendar. So if someone asks me something, I'm like, I'm going to look on the wall. I try to do it in both, though.
Okay, that's what I'd like to do.
It's always good to have a backup just in case. But the wall calendar is my main calendar, and I always keep that because that's fine, has final say. Also, you can sync other things like your Facebook or other whatever to it. But anyways. Yeah, so more organization. I think we can all use.
To be a little bit more techie, which to stay informed. Certainly with my work and communicating with my kids and my grandkids, you have to stay a little techie. So that's I don't want to get left behind. I don't want to be I'm never going to do this type of person. So I want to stay informed. I follow Angelo on Twitter every day.
All right. Well. Thanks to my mother, Jean Ieso. I love you, Mom. Thanks for the update. And stay tuned. We've got more coming up on State of Euphorbia. See you soon.